Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our one-on-one series where we bring you the roster of artists that come here to play at Coup d'Etat. And today is no exception. We have one of the seminal figures of the UK garage scene a while ago, Grant Nelson.
How you doing, bruv? How you doing, Barley?
Welcome.
Thank you, bruv. Thank you.
Now, first question, how did you get into DJing and production?
Very young age, man. I mean, I started collecting records when I was very, very young, like 7, 8 years old. I think I bought my first 12-inch or something like that, 9, something like that. And I just kind of, I didn't really know what DJing was. I didn't have any concept of it. So I used to take my mum's hi-fi and my little record player, put them side by side, get the speaker wires rigged up to both the outputs, set the speakers there so the sound was going through both of them, then have a cassette deck with a built-in microphone recording on the other side, and just kind of did my first mixes, I suppose, when I was probably 10 or 11, something like that. Yeah, belt. Oh yeah, no pitch. Pure finger on the turntable, slowing it down.
And how did you fare?
Probably terribly. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have any of them tapes anymore. Put it like that. But yeah, from there I just kind of eventually nagged my mum into buying me some proper turntables that were still belt driven without pitch control, but it was like a setup with 3 turntables and an 8-track cartridge machine, if you remember them things. So I started like doing a few little parties for my friends and stuff, and then I ended up getting my first paid gig when I was 15, and I've been doing it ever since.
And the production?
Production was slightly different story. I kind of never really thought I was going to be a producer. I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, and I was going to go to drama school and all that. But I got a DJing gig abroad somewhere for 6 months, which stopped me going to college. So when I came back, I thought, okay, what am I going to do now? It was too early to enrol for any college thing or anything. So, and my girlfriend, who's now my wife, been together 20 years now, she was like at college, and I was just kind of crashing in her room. I'd have to hide every time like the guy came round to check the rooms. I'd hide it under the bed and stuff. And when she was at college during the day, I used to just kind of muck around with a little sampler and a 4-track tape machine and a piano in like the common room where everyone used to sit. And I just kind of made a few tracks. And she said to me one day, look, they sound pretty good, send one off to a record label. And I was like, no, don't be silly. And in the end, she nagged me into it. I sent one off, and the first tape I sent off, I got a record deal, and that was it. So that was 20 years ago.
Wow, and what musical background do you have?
A keyboard player. Okay. But self-taught keyboard player, though.
So you had that behind you then?
Yeah, I kind of knew. Well, I'm still learning. I'm definitely not the best keyboard player, but I know my way around, though.
Oh, that's good. Now, we were discussing before, what to your mind is UK garage, and does it have any relationship to the New York garage that we hear?
Well, I mean, UK garage really, it was born from the US garage scene. And I was kind of one of the first guys that kind of did that, really, and that's kind of why I get that kind of title as the godfather of UK garage, what some people say. It was just basically taking the elements of the early New York dubs, like the kind of sexy chords and the nice melodic stuff, and then just adding some tough beats and a sick kind of London bass line to it, and that kind of gave birth to the UK garage thing around early 94, late 93, early 94. And also people were playing those American dubs alongside as well, and then there was a lot of other people got on it, and then eventually that kind of moved into two-step around 1997, something like that, and it completely changed there. But
now you've worked with a host of impressive artists, and is there any legendary stories that you have with any of them?
Yeah, but none that I can share. I can share for not getting libelled, definitely.
But who's most fun, and who do you like to collaborate with?
Do you know what? Lots of them have been fun, and some of them haven't been so fun as well. I mean, there's that old saying, you should never meet your idols. That's pretty true as well. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, there's a couple of people that I've idolised since childhood, and when I've met them, I've been, you know what I mean? Yeah, a couple, and then there's been others that have just been absolutely amazing. So I won't name names.
No, that's fine. Now, actually, do you still hear UK garage and two-step in other genres, such as a dubstep?
Well, in fact, the UK garage thing's making a comeback in the UK at the moment. There's a little revolution starting, which is quite exciting as well, because I mean, it's something that was obviously close to my heart. I did it for 6 years, alongside the other stuff I do. So I mean, I was sad to see it go, but when it did go, it was time for it to go, because it just got crazy. There was too much violence at the raves, and it got out of hand. But no, it's starting to come back now, and there's a lot of the old producers like MJ Cole and people like that are still on it, still doing it, and yes, it's looking quite strong at the moment.
Does any of it creep into a set of yours, a track here and there?
Not really, because the tempos are still a little bit too fast, you know.
Right,
if the tempos came back down a bit, but I mean, everything's kind of being made at like 134, 135, which is just a touch too fast for me.
Well, this next question you liked, and forgetting about genres or expectations, what is your perfect sunset music set, and which artists might it include?
Oh,
remember, free reign.
What, to watch live or to hear?
For you to play.
Oh, for me to play.
And you've got a really responsive crowd.
Well, I mean,
what
really.
do you want to do?
Well, you're about to find out. Should I spoil the fun? It's just a lot of records that have inspired me over the years. Everything from jazz to funk to soul, acid jazz stuff, some disco. Yep. There's a bit of everything in there, a bit of alternative, folky type stuff, everything. So I'm just going to fling down and see what happens.
But do you actually get to play these kind of sets anywhere? Never.
Never, of course not.
Well, this is a plum set then, because there's no pressure in having to make anybody dance. It's just obviously making them feel good here, and you can see that, the energy around. But
Definitely.
it's amazing.
Well, I mean, you don't get these kind of opportunities, and the thing is, I try as much as possible to drop old tracks in my sets, in my regular house sets, and most times, luckily, touch wood, it does work. But especially now the crowds have got a lot younger. It's like been a generational shift over the last couple of years. So I mean, there's guys out clubbing now that don't even know the house classics, let alone anything before
correct.
that. So it kind of falls on deaf ears some of the time as well.
I guess that's why you hear a lot of like remixes of those tracks, because it's just reviving them. And
exactly, yeah. I mean, and a lot of people don't realise, even like a cover of a cover of a cover of a cover, they don't know. It's still a new track to them, and that's not a bad thing. If it's good and it makes people happy, then it's all good.
Is this your first trip to Bali? And what are your impressions of the island and the scene?
It's my second trip to Bali, and it sucks, man. Terrible place. I mean, what's with the sunshine all the time? Jesus, get some rain going on, for God's sake. It's a beautiful island, man. What can you say? It's paradise. It really is paradise. In England, we have a thing called a Bounty chocolate bar. And the advert for this chocolate bar, I'm sure, was just shot on the beach down there, man. It was just a paradise shot,
Well, look, thank you very much for spending this time with us. I know you're about to go on, and we look forward to hearing this set.
Wicked. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.